I don't understand. I don't understand. I remember when I was a kid, in the summer I'd go outside and play. I'd take hikes in the woods, roll down hills on the grass. Can't do any of that anymore. It's illegal. You can't do it. And why can't you play outside anymore? Because of the ticks. All of a sudden, there's ticks. When I was a kid, I don't remember any ticks at all. No ticks. I used to roll down a hill, roll down on the grass and play around. And like Jack and Jill who went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, Jack fell down, broke his neck, and died. I don't know the whole thing. But we used to roll down hills. We used to play in the grass. We used to wrestle in the grass. We used to play in the bushes, climb trees, go hiking in the woods, and smear poison ivy all over our face. We had a good time as kids. We were outdoors. But now, parents say, "Oh, don't go outdoors. There's good ticks. There's going to be ticks." And what ticks do is they latch on to you and they suck your blood out like a vampire, and they cause nervous system damage, and they're awful. I don't remember worrying about ticks at all when I was a kid. I don't remember anything when I was a kid. I've only got 3 brain cells left. You know, when you're born, you're born with 7 billion brain cells. I made that up, by the way. I'm down to 3, and one of those are really kind of shaky. But I don't remember that. I also don't remember getting mosquito bites. I think I did, because I remember my mother putting a lot of cream on me. Now, I don't know if that was because of mosquito bites or whether I just had a lot of acne. I really don't remember. Because, again, I don't have that many brain cells left. But we played outside every day, all day. At sunset, we played near swamps and ponds and everything, and we weren't concerned about mosquitoes, and certainly not ticks. I don't think we had ticks. I don't think they were invented yet. I think when God put all these kinds of animals on the planet, humans and 4-legged creatures and bugs and insects, I think he left out, I'm assuming it's a man, left out ticks. That came like maybe a couple of years ago. No, I believe it came from Lyme, Connecticut, some Lyme disease. Some guy in Lyme, Connecticut was bitten by a little black insect and said, "Let's start it. Let's call this tick stuff. Let's call it Lyme disease because we discovered ticks in Connecticut." Well, thank you, Connecticut, for discovering ticks, because before that, people could go out and play and walk around. As an adult, I can't do anything. Ron, if you're going to go into the woods, wear long sleeves. But it's 95 degrees out. It's that or get bitten by ticks. Oh, man. And ticks are nasty, man. They're nasty little things. It's amazing how something so small can create so much damage in a person. It's amazing to get really sick from Lyme disease, and it's awful. There's like at the site of the tick invasion on your skin, there's like a bullseye. It's just like an amazing, like this little insect actually creates a bullseye on your skin, like a Target store. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I got bitten by a tick and a bullseye kind of showed up around the bite area. Like, how prolific can you be about where you got bitten? You can't say to the doctor, I think I was bitten by a tick. Where? Well, where the fucking bullseye is, you idiot. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Ticks, man. Ticks. And what, someday we're going to have tacks and toes? What's going on with this thing? I'm mad about the ticks. I'm mad about it. I just don't remember having a tick problem. I know people bitten by ticks. I know dogs bitten by ticks. I know ticks bitten by ticks. This tick thing is crazy. It's all over the place. Tic-tac-toe. What's the sound that a clock makes? Tick-tock. There's ticks in everything. I'm glad I don't have little children because I'd have to constantly tell them, no, you can't go out and play. You cannot go out and play. I'm sorry now. Stay away from the outside. It will kill you. Stay in your bubble. Stay inside in front of your computer screen or your little gaming console or your little cell phone. Stay inside. Don't go out. My God, don't go outside. And if you have to go outside to get the mail or something, run as fast as you can to the mailbox. And then run back quickly. If we drive somewhere and we get out of the car to go to a restaurant or something, run to the car. Run, Jimmy, run. The ticks are after you. And a swarm of mosquitoes. How can children be playing sports anymore? My kid likes to play soccer, but with all the ticks, I can't. All that grass, they're playing soccer on the ground. And camping, are you serious? Are you serious? Camping? Are you kidding me? Why don't you just stab yourself right now? Camping? Lying on the ground in a canvas tent all night outside? What are you, crazy? Do you have some sort of a death wish? Are you kidding me? I went camping in my life kind of just once. I went camping with a fine woman outside on grass somewhere in some kind of park. And we pitched a canvas tent. I don't understand why we pitched one. I don't know what that means. I understand at a ball game when you pitch the ball, but I don't understand why you would pitch a tent. It doesn't make any sense. I would put the steaks in the ground and then the hamburgers and then the chicken, and we would make wild, passionate love under the stars and the moon. And after making the passionate love, all of a sudden I would start itching all over the place. Oh my God, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Let's go inside a hotel. By the way, sex in a strange hotel bed is so much better than being outside under the stars and the moon and all the ticks and the bugs. Then we would fall asleep, wake up in the morning in the tent, and the tent would be covered with bugs. Every single species of bug would be clinging to that canvas tent. And some people say, oh, it's great to wake up to the dewy smell of the air. No, that's the rotting carcasses of insects in the 100% humidity. Are you kidding me? Camping, it ruins your hair. You can't do anything with your hair when you're camping. Why don't you just tie your hair back? It doesn't matter. Hair doesn't like to camp. Camping, you got to be kidding me. I went to a summer camp for a number of years because my parents didn't want me around for the whole summer. They were tired of having to police the ticks. We didn't have ticks. What am I talking about? My parents sent me away for summer camp every year so that they could finally be alone. And at summer camp, they would always have these campfires. And we would sit around the campfire and someone would tell a story and we'd roast marshmallows on sticks. How archaic. I felt like standing up. Even at the age of 8, 9 years old, I felt like standing up and saying, what the hell's wrong with you people? Why are we sitting around a fire with marshmallows on sticks? Hello? This is so archaic. And as long as the campfire is going, why don't you, some of you campers, walk into it? Why don't you try that? Put yourself on a stick. Take a stick, shove it up your ass, and walk into the campfire. Come on, kids. What the hell's going on here? My parents didn't pay thousands of dollars for me to sit around a fire on my ass on the ground with a marshmallow sticking at the end of a stick. And then we'd take the marshmallow, stick it in the fire. The marshmallow would burn to a blackish crust. I guess you call that Cajun style. And then you take the marshmallow and you would eat it off the end of the dirty, rotten stick. Burn your mouth off like you were sucking on lava. And this was supposed to be enjoyable. Me sitting around a campfire with 12 other boys. Can we get a girl in here or something? I mean, even at 8 years old, I thought that was like uncomfortable and awkward. Sitting on the ground, holding a stick with food at the end. Are you serious? Is that the way my ancestors ate? Is that what happened? Come on, man. Give me a break. This is not humanity. This is torture. Oh, God. Ticks, man. You can't shoot them. You can't do anything about them. They're all over the place. Then there's deer tick. I don't even understand what that means. I guess they're ticks that have spawned on top of deer or something. Deer seem perfectly fine. They're bouncing around, running into cars on small country roads. Ticks seem perfectly fine. I mean, the deer seem perfectly... Well, the ticks are fine anyway. The deer seem perfectly fine, hopping around. I don't see any problem with that. It doesn't damage their nervous system. But us humans, don't go outside. My God, don't ever go outside, ever. You'll be annihilated. Except for children. Somehow children get away with everything. Until your child gets a tick. And then that's it. Your child is never going out again. It's over. It's over. Might as well just send them to Mars where there's no ticks. Also no atmosphere, but that's besides the point. Ticks, man. I mean, Donald Trump says that the media is the enemy of the people. No, it's the ticks. It's the ticks. Ticks are no good. No one has a pet tick. Here, tick. Here, tick. No one has a pet tick. No one has a pet mosquito. What's up with that? It's an indication. I don't think when Noah was doing the ark thing, and that was a thing at a point in history, I suppose. When Noah was doing the ark thing, I don't think God said, find 2 ticks. Noah said, you serious, man? You're asking me to put like thousands of animals on a boat, and you're asking me to find ticks? They're all over the freaking place. Do me a favor, God. Stop creating things. You're over-creating. This tick thing was like too much. Too much. Just, I know you rested on the 7th day or something like that. I didn't read the whole story, but take it easy, man. Take it easy. Stop creating things. It's all right. It's all right. Things are going to be all right. Bothers me. Did I start the show? Yeah, I don't think I started the show.
On the air everywhere, this is New England Broadcasting.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Understand it. So many things I don't understand. I've been alive for a long time. Decades and decades and decades and decades. So much stuff I don't understand because no one explained it to me. They didn't talk about ticks in school. They didn't teach me anything about ticks. Nobody warned me not to go outside. But I shouldn't be outside. Another problem with being outside is the rain. I've talked about this before, the way people react to rain. I mean, most people take showers every day or every other day or something. They stand under a shower thing and they get all wet and they clean themselves off and they're not scared of water. But yet when it's raining outside, oh my God, I'm going to get wet. My clothes are going to get wet. Oh no, I hope you survive. So what, your clothes get a little bit wet. And people run in the rain even if they have umbrellas or hats on. It's like they're going to melt, like the Wicked Witch of the whatever there, and the Wizard of Oz, the East, the West, who knows what direction she came from. The water does not kill you, and yet people run like the rain is like pelts of acid or something. I mean, come on, it's just water. What, are you kidding me? What's the weather going to be like today? It's going to rain. I can't go out. I can't go out. Why? It's just water coming down from the sky, making everything clean and everything and washing things away. I can't go out in the rain. Why not? I want to get wet. Oh my God, really? Oh no. We can't go out. It's raining out. Well, yeah, well, what's the problem? Oh, it's raining though. They even, light rain, they even call it a shower. The same thing that you take in your bathroom, that's what they call it outside. What's the big deal? Oh, it's going to rain. Oh, no, it's going to rain. I can't go out. No, we'll do it another day. It's going to rain. It's going to rain. Oh my God, it's going to rain. Oh no. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to do something a little bit different right now, as if I don't usually do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about men's health and women's health all in one show. We have two experts, one in the men's field, one in the women's field. And as you get older, things start happening to your body. You can't stop it. So you deal with it, and you know what it is. So we brought in two experts, one for a man's health problems as things progress in their life, and one for a female. So let's do that now, because this could take a little time, but I think it's important. I think it's important to check this out, because we all go here, man. We all go here, whether it be you or your parents. It's relevant. Well, that's because they're your relatives. Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Hi, doctor. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. This is Dr. Stacey Loeb. We're talking about men's health and a campaign thereof. You're connected with NYU, I understand.
Yes, that's right.
That's my alma mater.
Wonderful.
But I was not a doctor, unfortunately, so I think we're in different schools. Anyway, let's talk about men's health, and tell me about the campaign.
Yes, so this is Health Below the Belt campaign, and we are here for Men's Health Month just to remind men about the many different things that they should keep up with their health, really starting at a young age, even for men in the 20s. That's an important time to learn about any family history or risk factors and start doing testicular self-exams. Then later on in life, men have other possible risks, such as prostate cancer, which is the number one cancer in U.S. men. So men should start talking to their doctors about prostate cancer screening in the 40s and the 50s. You know, and then other changes can occur over the lifetime for men, changes in urination, things like waking up at night to urinate. Many men have changes in their erections with age, and, you know, of course, that's disturbing in and of itself, but also it can be linked with cardiovascular disease. So it is actually really important to see a doctor and talk to a doctor when any of these things are occurring.
Yeah. In men, when you're a woman, and you are, you go for breast exams starting at a very early age. So you kind of set up a regular routine of seeing a physician for many reasons, gynecologically, etc. Men don't have, as far as I know, in the young adult years, they don't have any frequency of going to a doctor for these exams. So am I correct in thinking that their connection to their doctor at an earlier age would be less than a woman's?
Probably so. Prostate cancer screening doesn't usually start until the 40s or the 50s, depending on, a man's risk factors. Men who have a family history of prostate cancer definitely need to be more attuned to this. Also, African American men have a higher risk of prostate cancer. So especially if you have one of these risk factors, it's definitely important to talk to your doctor. But as of age 40 or 50, there are many men who just see a urologist every year or two for like a men's health checkup, essentially.
Maybe they do.
So it is possible to establish that kind of relationship.
Yeah. But I don't think my point is I don't think most men do until something occurs, but women go early in life on a regular basis to have things checked out that men don't have. So it seems like we really need to put the message through to men that you need to see a doctor on an annual basis, especially with the health insurance thing going on. I mean, it's available.
Yes, absolutely. I think this message needs to be out there. And, there are even many men who have things going on that still haven't seen anybody about it.
Yeah.
There was a recent study that came out showing that many men with erectile dysfunction were not receiving any sort of care for that. So, especially if any men who are listening are having a urinary or a sexual issue or just want to check their risk for various cancers, it is really important to go in.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're talking about kind of all men because, when you reach a certain age, the testosterone levels change, and that causes all kinds of metabolism changes and et cetera. It's a fact of life that most men maybe not even be aware if they don't talk about things with their parents. How would they know?
Yes.
Not good. When I was growing up, my parents never told me anything about anything physical. I never knew my mother's age, really. I would have no idea of what family members were sick from or what they died from. It wasn't discussed in my generation. Different now, I think. But, I don't know how old you are, but that was not discussed. You did not know your family history. It's not something that was discussed, period.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think we've just learned a lot more about family history in the last few years. For example, for prostate cancer, we used to think that the only risk factor is if a man in your family had prostate cancer. Well, it turns out that actually if you have a female relative who had breast cancer, for example, that there are some genes that are linked. So actually having a female family member with breast cancer is still really relevant to your risk of prostate cancer. So I think maybe a good take-home message here is just the importance for young men to learn their whole family history, including both the men and women in their family, and especially cancers, and in particular anything diagnosed at an early age.
Sure. Is there any family really within the child to grandparent where no one had cancer at all? I think it's kind of rare that no one did.
Yeah, probably true. And I think, knowing exactly what the portfolio is in your family really sets up kind of an individualized risk profile for you.
Yeah. Important to know. Okay, that should make people think twice then. How do we find out more about this campaign?
So you can go to the Urology Care Foundation website. They have all kinds of really great materials, including a men's health checklist. It shows at each age group what kinds of screenings and conditions men should be thinking about. There's lots of great resources on their website. The Urology Care Foundation also has a podcast which covers a lot of these men's health issues. So if anyone is just dabbling in and wants to learn a bit more about testosterone, erectile dysfunction, testicular cancer, prostate cancer, you name it, there's podcasts as well.
Okay. And the name of this campaign again?
Yes, so this is the Health Below the Belt campaign for National Men's Health Month by the Urology Care Foundation.
Okay. I do want to be healthy below the belt because I tend to use that area. So that is important to me as well.
Yes.
Yes. Doctor, thank you so much for the information today. Great talking to you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Hello, doctor.
Morning. Hi there.
Hi there. Dr. Magdy Milad joins us, and we're talking about gynecological conditions, chronic ones at that, for women, obviously. He is the chief of gynecology and gynecologic, that's a hard word to say, surgery at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. I think we have an idea what you do here. Yeah. This goes above and beyond what most people might know as far as conditions are concerned. Is this something that takes place at a certain age, or are these conditions that can happen at any age?
Well, they can happen at any age. Fibroids, endometriosis, abnormal bleeding, but the typical age range is really from the first menstrual periods, around age 13, 14, through menopause. That's kind of the typical common range. We do see it after menopause. We almost never see it before adolescence.
So, and a lot of this involves, do we call this surgery, or is it involve surgery, or is it something that is a fairly standard now, the hysterectomies?
Well, yeah, so hysterectomy, is extraordinarily common, and the number of hysterectomies over the past 20 years has been going up, and probably it's not necessary to do that many hysterectomies, because for the conditions that we do hysterectomies for, nowadays we've got a whole, range of options to kind of avoid hysterectomy. And if we can get them to menopause, oftentimes they really don't need hysterectomy. Okay. So, conditions like fibroids, non-cancerous tumors of the uterus, very common. They really don't bother most women. But in that small subset of women, that are having pressure symptoms, bulk symptoms, bladder symptoms, infertility, bleeding. We've got many options, and hysterectomy should be the last possible, sort of the last-ditch effort to sort of resolve those symptoms.
How common is this percentage-wise in women?
Well, fibroids can affect 80% of women. So nearly every woman has fibroids. Yeah, but as I suggested, most of them, it doesn't bother them, and so just because they have a fibroid, but they're not bleeding, they're not infertile, it's not causing symptoms, they really don't need anything.
Okay.
And in those women that have symptoms, our therapies are really sort of directed towards what the patient's wishes are. So we call that shared decision making. We have the patient kind of front and center, and we ask them, what is it that you want us to resolve? Is it the bleeding? Is it the pain? Is it the difficulty getting pregnant? And then our therapies are tailored towards that. Yeah.
We recently did an interview with a urologist in the sense of prostate concerns that are, may be concerns, not necessarily a cancerous situation. Is it the same kind of thing where the patient is a little bit shy or apprehensive about discussing this, figuring, well, it's probably nothing, I can live with this? Is it the same kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think young, healthy women oftentimes will sort of tolerate the symptoms, even though they're sort of getting, minimally worse every year, every month. And then, after a fair amount of time, they realize, oh my gosh, I'm going to Costco every month to buy pads and tampons, and becoming anemic and having to take iron, and then avoiding intimacy and daily, sort of exercise and so on as a result of it. And it's sort of like that analogy of the frog in the water. I don't know if that's, maybe I'm dating myself, but they say that if you take a frog and you put it in cold water and you sort of raise the temperature slowly, it'll just stay in that water till it boils to death. And it's sort of like that. The changes are so incremental that patients just sort of tolerate it. Of course, if you put the frog in boiling water, it would jump right out. So, a woman who's having that much bleeding and having to take that much iron and going through that many sanitary napkins and so on, it's obvious that they should do something about it. And there's so many options. Like, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Is this something that would come up in a gynecological exam as far as the physical aspects of that exam? Is that something that would be detectable?
Yes, yeah. So fibroids oftentimes can be detected on an exam.
Okay.
Probably a better way to detect fibroids is an ultrasound. I'm not suggesting that every woman needs an ultrasound, but if they're having symptoms, the classic symptoms of either bulk, infertility, or bleeding, then an ultrasound would be the next step. And then if the ultrasound is abnormal, then oftentimes an MRI makes a lot of sense, because an MRI gives you everything. It tells you the number, the size, the location, whether they're degenerating. Sometimes fibers will actually start to absorb on their own. You can't tell that by ultrasound often. And then it can also detect things like adenomyosis, a common condition that causes heavy periods and painful periods, but is different than fibroids. And the treatment algorithm is different as well.
Right. Isn't there a point in a woman's life where the how can I put it? There is a certain amount of discomfort during sex and other utilization of the area, where that is a somewhat normal type of aging situation?
So pain with intercourse is what we call dyspareunia.
Right.
Yeah, I think during menopause, there can be that kind of transition for sure, and that's often easily remedied.
Okay.
So it's not something that women should tolerate and should avoid.
Okay.
I think getting in and seeing somebody and sort of talking it through. You're right, though, as you suggested about fibroids, pain with intercourse is not commonly discussed unless oftentimes the doctor has to bring it up.
Right.
But yeah, we have lots of therapies for that.
Yeah. Now, at Northwestern, you do a lot of, you have a very impressive surgery program there, I understand. So, again, it's also fairly common to use that option if necessary, and the other options don't work or are not feasible.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. No. I think the point. I'm hoping the take-home point is that just because a doctor recommends a hysterectomy, I think patients should sort of be their own advocate.
Yes.
And these decisions should be made in a sort of shared decision-making process. So, the patient's priorities should be front and center. So if a patient says, "I don't want a hysterectomy," you can pretty much count on that. Like, it's time to start thinking about alternatives, and there's so many alternatives nowadays. It really shouldn't be the first thing out of the gate.
Is this something where if you don't discuss it with your doctor and you just live with it, that it could physically get worse or even dangerous, or is it a question of further discomfort?
Well, yeah, for sure it's a quality of life issue, number one. But if bleeding is an issue, then we see patients that are coming in, anemic, requiring blood transfusion. And then when fibroids get so large, we're no longer able to do the therapies and procedures that we could have done earlier. So earlier detection with symptoms. We don't look for it without symptoms, but with symptoms.
Gotcha. Where do we go for more information about this?
Well, we've got our website. The Center for Comprehensive Gynecology is ccgyn.nm.org here at Northwestern. It's a multidisciplinary clinic where we've got a large number of providers with different disciplinary training, so that patients can come in and sort of get all their answers before they leave the office on the first visit. So that's our kind of one-stop shopping. Or just call us 312-694-6447.
Very good. We've done a lot of conversations with Northwestern, and they seem to be at the forefront of many topics and many different concerns medically. And kudos to your organization there for doing that.
Thank you.
So great talking.
It's an honor for us to take care of patients.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
It's quite obvious. Quite obvious. Thank you so much for your time today, Doctor. I hope you found that a little bit interesting. Huh? Yeah? Did you? Good. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new show. Until then, I wish you peace.